partially through the game, they did show Ethan Pritchard, which we didn't spend a lot of time on this because it happened after we recorded last week, but everyone knows this by now. We're not breaking any news, but Ethan Pritchard was unfortunately shot literally the day after the game, right? Sunday night of last week. That started coming out, and then Florida State addressed it on Monday. And Mike has been asked about it every single time. They showed him up on the Jumbotron. The entire crowd roars, super loud appreciation for, his dad being there and all that. And then after the game, listen, I think I'm not trying to crap on FSU here because we're all in a good mood. I think the rock break is kind of, I don't know, man. Like it's cool that we do something. I don't get super jazzed up about it. Certainly after big games you do because it's a little more fun there. But I don't really care about breaking the rock after East Texas A&M. Like that doesn't really get me all excited. Listen, I'm driving home yesterday and in some stop and go traffic in Tallahassee, and I see Florida State post that Ethan Pritchard's dad broke the rock. And I'm crying on the way home. I'm like, man, I'm glad my sunglasses are on. People are going to think I'm crazy. I'm crying on the way home watching his dad break that rock. And to me, that's the best one we've ever done. It's not even close. And listen, you can say whatever you want about Mike and recruiting and last year and his start and this, that, and the other. Man, I have so much respect for him and the way that I do. I think and I'm not saying other coaches don't, but the way he loves this team and the way that he loves his players and the way that they rally around a true freshman that's just been on campus for however many, not even that long, right? I thought that was the most special thing that happened on Saturday. So much bigger than the game, so much bigger than the result, somehow bigger than a 74-point victory that's like record-breaking. That was the coolest thing that I've seen maybe in the Mike Norvell tenure was to bring a kid's dad in and have him be part of that. That was so cool, man. I will get right back to the video, but first, make sure that you show our friends over at Emerald Medical some love. If you're feeling drained, not yourself, there could be a very easy answer and solution. I see the analytics. I know what gender you guys are. I know what age you guys are. Low testosterone might be an issue for you right now, and you might not even realize it. Emerald Medical can help you get that energy back. Use our code DFNS for a free consultation and savings on your journey to feeling like the real you. My buddy Chris was up there with us at the tailgate for the Alabama game. He is a diehard Florida State fan, just like you and I are. He will offer personalized care that you can trust. Call them today, 772-307-9840. Mention Double Fries No Slaw, or go to their website, emeraldhrt, hormone replacement therapy.com, and use our code DFNS to get back to feeling like the real you.
Yeah, and first and foremost, prayers to Ethan and his recovery, and it sounds like he's stable and he should recover, but you never know, so you just continue those prayers for him. But at the same time, yeah, and if you watched Mike Norvell after the game, he got extremely emotional when he was asked about that, and I love that. And players watching that see that he truly does care. And, he mentioned that Ethan wanted to be at the game, but since he couldn't, he wanted his dad to go in his place. And he showed up wearing a t-shirt of his son. And after the game, he got to break the rock. It was truly touching. It really was. Like I'm getting old. I get a little more emotional now than I used to. But no, I love that his dad was kind of the star of the night, without playing in the game or anything like that. And I'm sure Ethan was probably watching from his hospital bed and saying, that's awesome. And I'm sure he's already seen the clip of his dad breaking the rock, and to see the way the team reacted of him breaking that rock, that was amazing. It shows the culture. Last year, I think we kind of lost our culture a little bit. 2-10 will do that to you, but I think it's fully back right now. And it was just really special to see. Even Lindsay, a huge Alabama fan, was so happy when I showed her the video of Ethan's dad breaking the rock.
Yeah, nobody texted me about the game this week. A lot of people did last week. But nobody texted me about the game this week. I got a text from, again, a friend that I was with not too long ago. And that was what they said. They were like, hey, did you see this? Right? It wasn't, hey, what about the game? What about this play? What about that play? It was, did you see who did this? And yeah, that makes. I saw again. I saw UF fans on before their catastrophe, which we'll talk about that at the end. I do want to get to that, but yeah, I saw UF fans quote tweeting that and just saying like, dude, this is what it's all about, man. Like we all
Yeah,
want to win our games, but dude, I wouldn't have cared if that was a U. If the same thing happened to a UF player, some walk on, some backup, doesn't matter, right? Or a Miami player, their dad getting to be part of something like that, or their family
100%.
member, or brother, or something. Dude, I don't care, man. We put all that rivalry stuff aside, and so it was like I said. I had people reach out about that. I saw it on social media, even like Gator fans, like. Yeah, man, like this is really awesome. I'm really glad that Florida State does this. I do think it brings up an interesting point, and you just made it. I mean, I saw Daryl Jackson in a shirt that had Ethan's
Yep.
picture on it and stuff, and kind of showing support for him. The whole team honored him, and of course they would, right? Like there'd be no situation where they wouldn't. So I'm not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, but I
And the
do think,
wristbands too.
yeah, everybody had that. I saw the Battle's End is doing something where they're gonna get shirts available. Where 100% of the proceeds, like the Battle's End, is literally absorbing the costs of the shipping and handling and labor and all that stuff, and 100% of the money is going to the Pritchard family, which I think is awesome. I love that they're doing that. But man, as bad as you think about Richie, how good we would say the culture was in 2023, and honestly, in 2023, if I would have asked you what Mike Norvell is the absolute best at, the argument would have been, well, it's either the portal, right? Or it's the way that he built the team culture. Because it was so freaking good in 2023. Sorry. And then last year you just said it was the thing he was the worst at, right? Like the team culture last year was absolutely diabolically bad. Outside, I mean, because even the portal hits that we talk about, like missing and stuff, they weren't that bad. Like Marvin Jones Jr.'s got some good burst at Oklahoma. Pat Payton's playing a lot at different places. Some of the guys that they recruited out of the portal last year are playing really well. When you look at Earl Little and Malik Benson's had a good start for Oregon, and you look at TJ Ferguson, or not TJ Ferguson, sorry, Richie Leonard is playing well so far for us this year. So like, it's not that the portal was so terrible last year, but I do think that the culture was, and it does seem not just because of the Pritchard thing, but because of the effort and the way that they're playing hard through these first 2 weeks, the way that they're bought in, the swag that Tommy's brought back, the way they honored Ethan, the way that the team has really rallied around so many things that they believe in, it does feel like the culture is back. Now it's 2 games, right? We're a sixth of the way through the season, which is kind of sad to say when you when you put it that way. But it does feel like that culture is, if it's not all the way back, man, it certainly is returning. Appreciate Sleeper for their support. Listen, there's fantasy football on that app. There's eliminator leagues. Maybe we'll do a double fries, no slaw pick 'em that you guys can get involved with. Give away some tickets to the Champions Club or something like that for the winner. Yeah, mental note that down. We'll get it done. But listen, we've been making money with the more or less. Hopefully you took some of that more and that less in that USF game here. Sleeper has a phenomenal interface. One of the best places you can go just to go check the scores. There's a UF score that you guys all enjoyed from Saturday. You can see their fans freaking out in the comments on it. You need to be on the Sleeper app. Use our code DFNS for 100% match up to $100. If you want to play the more or less game with me and Richie every Wednesday night, we would encourage you to do so. But one way or the other, you should have this app. You should use our code to get it so that when you do deposit, you can get that bonus. But make sure that you go check out Sleeper's terms and conditions. They do apply. See their terms of use for details. Appreciate Sleeper for their support. It's the app that you guys need to be on for all things sports.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, and I'm really happy this team in winning a home opener the way you did in dominant fashion against probably the biggest brand in college football the past 20 years. I mean, that'll help you do that. And like we talked about again on Wednesday, we were worried about, will this team show up the same way this week that they showed up against Bama, and they did. And I think it truly is a family culture. Whether you love or hate Mike Norvell, I truly believe he does preach a family culture for the football team. I think he's done that since day one, since he's been here. Last year sucked. It is what it is, but doing that, and I think he cares about each and every individual on this roster. And if they do not fit the culture, I don't think he has a problem saying, okay, move on. But he loves all of these players. And, you know, whether it works out with him or not, we don't know. That's years down the road. Hopefully, it's not a conversation at the end of this year. But yeah, no, he truly cares. And his gesture this weekend, bringing Ethan's father here, letting him break the rock, I just love that. That it makes me proud to be a Seminole.